Good morning, Villa fans, and welcome to, a double header here. So grab yourselves a cup of tea, a match reaction to Saturday's game against Southampton, and then looking ahead to what it plans to be a tremendous night at Villa Park, regardless of the result, tomorrow. PSG are there coming to Villa Park, and I'll come on to them shortly. But, let's talk a little bit about the Southampton game first. But, you know, all eyes and feelings are on tomorrow night now. But looking at Southampton, really good result. I mean, let's look at it. First half was really kind of disappointing and quiet. Not many chances going on. Southampton had one chance. I remember Cameron Archer sort of getting through on an angle, but a good save, had a routine save from Emi Martinez to deny him. Team lineup wise, obviously, with one eye on PSG tomorrow, there was going to be some changes, obviously, but there were quite surprises as well. I thought, for example, Ollie Watkins would have started, but no, the lineup was obviously Martinez in goal. He went with Matty Cash at right back. So even though I thought Andres Garcia could come in for this because he couldn't play on Tuesday, and then left back Ian Martson, I did think would get the nod for this, and he did. And then centre back wise, he went with the tried and tested, Conter and Mings. Again, a little bit surprising because, you think maybe Disasi could come in, maybe Torres would play there, but Unai, gets it right. Another clean sheet. Who am I to question anything that Unai does? And then midfield wise, Onana steps in for the start alongside Yuri Tielemans, and I'll come on to Tielemans in a moment. Boubacar Kamara sort of sitting out this game, with putting his feet up a little bit, came on towards the end, but he's very much, in line to start tomorrow night. And then further forward from that, he's gone with Jacob Ramsey. He's gone with Asensio from the start and Morgan Rogers. Again, Rogers was the one, maybe if you wanted to rest someone, Tielemans and Rogers could have been the two that kind of sat this one out, I suppose. But it did take, for the subs to come on to change the game for us. So again, there is no easy games in the Premier League. And it took until this lovely finish from Ollie Watkins for us to really kind of settle and then take the game away from Southampton. But until then, it was quite a frustrating game for Villa, even though we controlled a large amount of the possession. Wasn't save after save from Ramsdale up until this point. I remember him saving from Onana from long range, but apart from that, there wasn't too much going on. And then up front, he's gone with Marcus Rashford again. But I fully expect Rashford to play tomorrow from the left. And this man, Ollie Watkins, who I said in my match preview that, I think he needed a goal and a good performance against Southampton. I thought he would start it, but he came off the bench and produced a man of the match performance, you could say, in the, 20 odd minutes that he was on the pitch. So wins the penalty, which unfortunately Asensi-NO misses. And we don't seem to have very much luck with the penalties throughout the team. But yeah, Asensi-NO missed it. Watkins winning the penalty. Clear foul from Bednarek, bringing down Ollie Watkins after only a couple of minutes of coming onto the pitch. And then, we missed that penalty. And then, as I said, the players, Mings passing it to Tielemans on the halfway line. There wasn't much press from Southampton throughout the game. I mean, Tielemans really had, a lot of space and time to pick out passes and move the ball quite well. And this pass that he put forward for Ollie Watkins, I mean, he did something similar against was it Nottingham Forest when he set up Morgan Rogers for the goal. Again, a lovely sort of ball flighted between the lines, picks out his man superbly. The weight of pass, I mean, he's got to get that right. From where he is to where Ollie Watkins is running onto, obviously keepers rushing out as well. That has to be an inch perfect pass. And it absolutely was. And real credit goes to Ollie Watkins for being brave. Obviously, keepers rushing out, getting his toe to the ball to lift it over the keeper, as you can see in this picture. And then it hits the underside of the crossbar, bounces down and into the net. I mean, I've spoken about Ollie Watkins and been critical of him in one-on-one situations, and especially when he has chances to kind of think about it and those easier chances. This was not an easy chance. This is pure kind of instinct, getting a foot to it. I think he obviously meant to loop the ball over Ramsdale, but whether he managed to clip the underside of the bar and go in, not too sure. But he got on the end of it, and that instinctive finish now takes him one goal away from Gabiad Bonlahor's Premier League record. And with the games that are remaining, you've got to feel that he's going to smash that record in the next few games as well. So Ollie Watkins well on his way to becoming an Aston Villa Premier League legend in terms of the goal scoring, absolutely. So yeah, really, really, really good finish from Ollie. Really pleased for him to get the goal and the celebration. I think somebody might have mentioned it in another podcast. I mean, I've not seen him celebrate a goal like that for a long, long time. It's normally been the old sort of smiley face, little chest pump here and there. That was frustration kind of coming out, maybe realizing that he's not quite hit the heights recently. He's been on the bench a few times. He had to work his way back into Unai Emery's plans since injury, but that was a lot of frustration in that celebration, and you could see how much it meant to him. Almost like the goal he scored for England against Holland in that semi-final. Similar kind of celebration, and that's what we want. We want a firing, confident Ollie Watkins. We want almost like an angry Ollie Watkins as well, I suppose, just with a point to prove. And I felt as though he did that in this game. And his movement off the ball was really good as well. So that's 1-0 to Villa after this superb finish. And then following this, we back it up. And the strapline in the video says that we make Premier League history. And what I mean by that is that we are the first team in Premier League history to have 3 subs scoring all 3 goals, or all the goals for us in the game. So having 3 subs that score in one game. No other Premier League team has done that. And that is just testament to the depth and the quality of squad that we now have, that we're able to bring on players like Watkins, Malen, McGinn. We didn't even have Bailey for this game. Barkley wasn't even in the squad, I don't think. We've got all of a sudden now, starters and finishers, and it's a great place to be. The squad has never looked healthier and better, in my opinion. And to have 3 subs come on and affect the game the way they did, scoring the goals, was absolutely superb. And just testament to the squad that we have right now and making Premier League history in that respect. The second goal, again, well worked. Onana has the ball on sort of halfway line, picks a lovely pass out to Morgan Rogers, who sort of dropped into the number 10 position at this point. Rogers picks it up, sort of dribbles towards goal. He's got Watkins on his left. He's got Malen peeling away on the right, picks out Donyell Malen on the right. And Malen is the sort of player, he doesn't mess around. If that was Leon Bailey in that same position, Bailey would try to cut in or take an extra touch. Malen just wants to get the ball out of his feet and just shoot, just exploit those little half gaps that you have. And it takes the keeper, the defenders, all by surprise. I'm not sure if it went through the defender's legs or not, but he's hit the ball so true, so low. His technique, as I mentioned in my previous video, Donyell Malen's his shooting technique is really, really good. The way that he sort of punches through the ball and manages to get so much power and keeping it low as well. That's a technique that has been mastered. And he scores his 3rd goal in 3 games in the Premier League. And, we could do with a confident Donyell Malen on Tuesday, but unfortunately he's not in the squad. But I think he's definitely, staking a claim now for maybe sort of getting that position on the right, but he's becoming a hell of an impact player as well. He's got pace, he's got power, and his shooting ability, and the ability to get the shot off very, very quickly when it's a crowded box, not caring about anything else. As I said, other players might have taken extra touches in that position. Not Donyell Malen. Shift it out his feet, shoot. That's what he's about. And yeah, 2-0 Aston Villa, and Marlon's off and celebrating with the Villa fans. And the game there is then looking pretty good. We're pretty confident, pretty safe by that point, and that's kind of wrapped up the points and really put Southampton to bed, really. And then, we have another further opportunity, another penalty won sort of late in the game. Again, the ball falls to, I think it's Donyell Malen again, who tries to put the ball into the box for somebody. McGinn kind of gets the ball, protects it a little bit, and I think Stevens sort of dives in and just sort of clips the legs of McGinn without winning the ball in the box. It's a penalty. There was little complaint from the Southampton players. There was little appeal from the Villa players as well, to be fair. Apart from McGinn, obviously, was on the floor, but no one else was sort of asking for it. But it's a penalty again. Asensi-NO obviously had his first effort saved by Ramsdale. Decides to go the same way again. And again, it's a save from Ramsdale, but he pushes it out, and John McGinn, who is first on the spot. If you watch the replay, he starts his run from literally quite a bit outside the box, and as soon as Asensio is stepping up and striking, he's on his bike, as it were, because he senses the rebound here, and he follows it in. And unbelievably, that's John McGinn's first goal in the Premier League. I know he's done a couple in the Champions League, but that's his first goal in the Champions League, and he looked relieved. So did Asensio, obviously. But if the game tomorrow night goes to penalties, I still fancy Asensio to step up and take one if he's on the pitch. But, coming into the game with 2 penalty misses is not a good look. We've obviously had Ollie Watkins in the past, who's very hit and miss on penalties. We haven't had a consistent penalty taker, I don't think. Well, Dougie Luiz was good for us last season. He was quite consistent. And then before that, Anwar El Ghazi. Those are the two that you'd want to take penalties for Villa, but obviously neither of them are at the club. So we've got Marcus Rashford, who was obviously off the pitch at that point. He could probably take one as well. You've got Yuri Tielemans, who's taken one. I think for Villa, missed one. I think he's taken one for Belgium and missed one. So we don't have a great record when it comes to penalties. So, looking ahead to tomorrow night, and if by some minor miracle that we're able to get it to penalties, it's going to be, you've got 2 penalty kings in terms of the goalkeepers, Martinez and Donnarumma. And then, it'll be interesting to see. But the game tomorrow night against Paris Saint-Germain, just talking about that, is going to be an absolutely great atmosphere. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a ticket. It sold out before I even had a chance to. But I shall be watching and supporting, watching it on the TV. And as I said, if we can get an early goal at Villa Park, the next goal in this tie is really, really crucial. We can get an early goal, a fast start, like we did against Celtic, like we've done against Leipzig as well. If we can just pop up with an early goal and just put the nerves into them. They are a young side. I sense something at Villa Park. I sense a special night. The feelings are there. Beaten Bayern Munich. I don't think this game is over for us. However, if PSG do score the first goal, then it is good night Vienna. Close the curtains on that one. But if we can get the first goal, and the Villa fans, I'm sure the atmosphere is going to be pumped. It's going to be absolutely pumped, and we need it. We need the tifos, the fireworks, and whatever else that we can to bring the atmosphere. I've just got a sneaky feeling. I've got a feeling that Villa will actually win the game, but I've also got a feeling that PSG will score as well. And I've got a feeling it's going to be 2-1 to Aston Villa on the night, which unfortunately will not be enough to see us through. But I'm hoping I'm wrong. I've obviously been wrong in the past, and I hope I'm wrong again. But something just tells me that we'll win the game. It will be very tight. Team lineup-wise, I don't think you can move too much away from the first leg. But saying that, I think we need Emi Martinez in goal. I think Matty Cash at right back. Disasi, I don't think he's going to be starting this one. He was obviously turned inside out by Kvaratskhelia. Matty Cash, he's good on one-on-one defending. He obviously picked up an early booking in the first leg, which meant he couldn't sort of come out for the second half. It might be something similar here. Left back, I think Luca Digne was rested with that game in mind. Martin did well, but I think Luca Digne comes back in. I think Konsa at right centre-back picks himself. Left centre-back, it's either Powell or Mings. I'll probably go with Mings. Nice little clean sheet as well there. If everything's all well, then go with Tyrone Mings. And then if we're looking further ahead than that, Boubacar Kamara comes back in. Yuri Tielemans, who are picking out passes for fun here. Really, really important player for us. I see him coming in. I don't see Onana starting this one. And then ahead of that, I think we're going to go Rashford from the left. I think we're going to go Rodgers from the right. And I think John McGinn in that 10, again, sort of giving us that energy from a central piece. I think Asensio will see this game from the bench. And then up front, I think Ollie Watkins, with his confidence now, has to be the man up front. For me, Rashford is not a number 9 anymore. I think he's more effective from the left. And then we've got the likes of Jacob Ramsey and Asensio on the bench to come on and change it if we need to. And yeah, I think that's probably the way that we'll go team lineup wise. But it's going to be an unbelievable game. PSG didn't play this weekend. The French FA allowed them a free weekend to prepare. Can you imagine that in the Premier League? If Villa requested a weekend off to prepare for a quarter final, I don't see the Premier League helping us out in that way, any way, shape or form. But yeah, It's going to be an unbelievable night. Win, lose, whatever the outcome is, what a unbelievable an occasion it's going to be at Villa Park. I, for one, will be cheering. I think we will get goals in the game, but I also see PSG scoring as well. We saw how they were in the first leg. Their fullbacks just bomb on. The ability of Doué and Kvaratskhelia and Dembele is always going to be a threat there. But to see those players playing at Villa Park as well is going to be absolutely brilliant. But I think the crowd is going to give us a lift. And that first 10, 15 minutes is going to be vitally important. We can get a goal then in that first 15 minutes. Oh, it's going to be lift-off. It's going to be lift-off. And I can see us scoring. I can see us winning for some reason. I just think, can we win by enough? Because we need to win 2-0 or by 2 goals to kind of take it to extra time and penalties. We need to win by 3 to get through the whole tie or win on penalties. It comes to penalties, I don't know. I'm not sure. It depends on what players are on the pitch at that point. Is Rashford still on there? Is Asensio on at that point? It all depends on what players are on the pitch to see what we can do if it comes to penalties. But we have to try to focus and win the game in the 90 minutes if we can. I think Unai Emery is excited about playing this sort of game against Luis Enrique. And yeah, it's going to be an amazing occasion. I think it's going to be amazing. So I'm going predicting a 2-1 Aston Villa win on the night, but unfortunately, just not enough to see us through the tie. I think that third goal at the end from Nuno Mendes really, really was important. If we came into this game just needing, the 1-goal deficit to turn over, we could probably do it. But asking us to win sort of 2, maybe 3-0, or by 3 goals there, is going to be difficult. It's going to be a difficult ask. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your score predictions for tomorrow night. Are you going to the game? What's your pre-match, superstitions? Do you have any? What kind of luck are you going to bring to the Villa? The Villa fans, and what you got planned for the night as well? Are you watching it at home? I wear a certain top all the time, the Aston Villa hoodie. I wear a certain pair of socks on match day as well. Just my sort of lucky sort of omen, and I'll keep that going because obviously we've had a really good season. So lucky socks, lucky hoodie, watching the game. Come on, the mighty Villa. Come on, we can do this. Just believe it, and we can achieve it. There you go, up the mighty Villa.